So if TIP, you mentioned TIP could do something.
Yeah.
So if we were to set up a consortium or a think tank or a incubator, so think tank to incubator, anything between the two extremes, give me 3 big rocks that I could, and now I'm speaking in my role of the board of directors for TIP, 3 big rocks that I could help the industry solve through a crowdsourced innovation or incubation, or even just crowdsourced research. What would be your wish list, Victor? Let's start with you this time.
Oh, me? Do you want me to give you all 3 or just give you one?
Just give me one and then we'll go make a round.
Right. So I think, you sort of alluded to this, and the data is important. When you started this conversation, you talked about how much data you have, but you got these black boxes, but you don't know what to do with it, or you're not doing you're not doing the right analytics on it, or you're not sort of making it useful for your system. Now, before I give you the thing, I do want to say, I think you brought up the LLM thing for a second. There is this major sort of almost a revolution, not an evolution, I would say, but a revolution that has happened in AI with these GPT models, GPT 3.5 and GPT 4, and then co-pilots like the ChatGPT and many other co-pilots that Microsoft has announced. And that gives you a very, very strong movement forward. So one really quick example of that is that you have a massive amount of documentation that is available, and then, or if something goes bad happens and you get a ticket, then they don't know how to solve this. ChatGPT can actually help open that up independent of the data. Mm-hmm. Okay, I have a lot more to say there, but I'll stop here.
But that's a very good one, and I think that is very nicely fitting to an industry consortium.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That is exactly the point, match. Which is that. So, let me just say a few more things about that. So, GPT model in itself, in order to use it, you have to write what we are calling copilots, which is that you have to provide the context and what is called prompt engineering. You've got to sort of like go in there with the right data sets and the right query,
can go in and help
and that's work. Yes. That is actually intellectually hard work.
Exactly. Yeah.
But that is something that you're not going to worry about the model itself. Model is already done. Tens of thousands of GPUs.
I bring my domain experts, and then they help me help
that's
you.
Right. So you can So you can bring those folks into that to write these copilots that can be used.
Okay.
So
I'm looking at the clock. But thank you so much for giving me a very, very good hint there, Meryem.
So building on data and its accessibility, when you said we need 3 things, I would have said data, data, data. But yes, that's one thing. The other one is clearly there are lots of problems to be solved and that can be solved with AI. I would say to identify the right set of problems that can help the industry to grow further, but then also find the right set of partners that can solve these problems.
Thank you. Problem and scope, yeah? Elad.
I think barrier is the cost of innovation.
Cost of innovation.
Yeah, because I think connecting between what Meryem said and what Victor said, so if you want to first identify which problems you want to solve, and then you want to take the experts and help you solve those problems, they need to do it somewhere. So that's the cost of innovation. You need to be able to develop, you need to be able to have the infrastructure in place. That's the cost of innovation. And what TIP can do, I think, is to, first of all, help identify the journeys, meaning what are the problems that we're trying to solve, workloads. Then identify the partners, as Meryem said, which partners can help me on which journey, and eventually bring out a template or a blueprint that says, here's how I can deploy this.
Very good. Thank you so much for such an insightful conversation, and this is just the start.